Halloween is coming up, guys. So today, since we're doing Halloween and everything, I've agreed that I'm going to be reading some Halloween themed books. And I don't have a lot of them, mind you. So today we're going to be reading the prologue of Bloodless Secrets. It's book 1 in the Mystic series. And I love this series, and currently I'm actually writing book 6 in the series called Betrayed Souls. So you're going to read the prologue today. We are going to read the prologue today. And I hope that you enjoyed it. This is an original story. It's not a fan fiction. And I hope to start publishing this series next year. So we'll see how that goes. But this prologue is actually really special. I actually did a Halloween themed contest on Wattpad, and basically I joined the contest, and this was one of the major contests on Wattpad, and I wrote the prologue as a short story, entered it, called it The Mystics, and I actually won. So for the longest time, literally I started writing it. I didn't want to stop. I built a character, and then I started building my own version of like vampires, werewolves, and everything else, and I built it. I called it The Mystics, but then when I started writing the book, I changed the name of it to Bloodless Secrets, but the entire series was called the Mystic series. And I really loved coming up with my own version of the vampire legends, of the werewolves, the other lycanthropes like that. And then I started adding other supernatural creatures in there, Valkyries, gargoyles, mermaids, sirens, that sort of thing. And I sort of just had a blast building these legends of my own legends, you know. And I came up with probably well over 50 different character ideas. They're not all in the book, but this world is so vast and so numerous that The Mystics is not going to be my only series featured with this, in this world, in this version of Earth, because I fell so deeply in love with it, and I'm definitely going to do more with it. So with that aside, I really hope that you enjoyed this reading of the prologue of Bloodless Secrets, and I hope to have it out sometime next year. So more on that whenever I get more news of that. So enjoy, guys. It's Halloween time! Nerves made Lizzie Burton's hair on the back of her neck stand on end, and goosebumps trail along her arms and spine. She had moved into the neighborhood only a few short months ago, and had tried to be friendly with the neighbors, but this was the first time they had actually invited her to anything. Glancing down at herself, she hoped her outfit looked okay. It was a Halloween party after all, but she didn't want to appear too kiddish or too sluttish, so she had picked out a simple Renaissance queen dress, since that was her favorite historic period and the dresses weren't too revealing. Taking a few quick, deep breaths, she rang the doorbell. "Come on in," a voice called from inside the house. So far, she hadn't been inside anyone's house on the block, except her own, of course. Stepping through the doorway, the first thing she noticed was how dark it was. Blackout curtains kept out the moonlight, and there were only a few dim lights, one in the crowded living room and one in the dining hall across from the entrance. The living room itself had a couch in front of a television, a bookshelf filled with trinkets along the right wall. Oh, yeah, and the dozens of wine glasses filled with red wine on practically every coffee table. "Lizzie's here," a young blonde woman called across the room. She leaned against the wall casually, wine glass in hand, lips bright crimson. Everyone in the room paused what they were doing and looked at her. A couple in the middle of the dance floor that had been swaying to the soft music froze. On the couch, 2 women glanced up from their phones, and in the dining hall, an older, Asian-looking man reclined in one of the dining room chairs. "Yes, I can smell her." His lips twisted into a wicked grin. Lizzie's stomach twisted, so she glanced back at the door. "Maybe I should just go." "You're not going anywhere, Liz," the voice came from behind her. Lizzie whipped around to see the blonde woman standing between her and the exit. "How did you—" She couldn't figure out how the woman had gotten there so quickly. The man on the dance floor released the woman he had been dancing with and zipped over to Lizzie. By the time she blinked, he towered in front of her. Closing his eyes, he sucked in a deep breath. Smells delicious." "I apologize for my friend's unruly behavior," the Asian man said smoothly. "We invited you here because you have type O blood, and you see, we're at a bit of a shortage." Lizzie gaped at them all. "What?" she squeaked. Shaking her head, she turned back toward the door, but the man in the entryway snatched her arm and darted back across the room. In barely a millisecond, he had laid her on a table in the dining hall. Both of the dance partners, the blonde woman and the 2 cell phone women, stood around her as the Asian man held Lizzie's wrists out. "Drink up, everyone." Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the prologue as much as I did, and it makes me want to keep reading the series, but I need to stop because I've reread it way too many times. But I really hope that you enjoyed. Be sure to like and share with your friends if they're book readers, if they love vampires and werewolves, especially if they're Christians and they want clean paranormal type stuff where they're vampires and werewolves but they're clean, because a lot of paranormal stuff is all erotic and it's really bad and wrong. But that's why I wrote the Mystic series the way that I did, is because I like vampires and werewolves, but I hate reading that stuff because a lot of times it has bad things in it all the time, and I wanted something clean and Christian. And so that's what my series is yes, it's vampires and werewolves and other kind of supernatural creatures, but they're all, it's good, it's clean, it's Christian, and I hope that you guys can enjoy it and benefit from it. So be sure to like and share. Be sure to subscribe for more writing and reading videos, and I'll see you guys next week, which is the day before Halloween, so we're gonna have some scary stuff.